Now let us learn about the radical axis for a pair of circles. Now it is defined as the locus of a point such that the lengths of tangents drawn from that point to the two given circles are same. So here let us consider any two circles in general whose equations are denoted by S1 equal to 0 and S2 equal to 0. Now suppose we have a point P such that the lengths of the tangents drawn from point P to both of the circles are same, then the set of all such points forms a straight line, and that is called as the radical axis for that pair of circles. Now to derive the equation of this, let us consider the point as say h comma k. Okay. Now since the length of tangent segment we have seen that is given by root of S1, and in the second circle that will be given by root of S2, right, where of course in these roots we have to substitute the coordinates of the point. So since they are equal, we can say that S1 equal to S2. So that means in the expressions of the circles we have to substitute the point h comma k and we will get the locus. So that means here we have h square plus k square plus 2 g1h plus 2 f1k plus c1 is equal to, for the second circle we have h square plus k square plus 2g2h plus 2f2k plus c2. So h square and k square terms will get cancelled, and bringing the terms on one side we get the final equation as 2 into bracket g1 minus g2 times h plus 2 into bracket f1 minus f2 times k plus c1 minus c2 is equal to 0. And now since we want the locus, so we replace h and k by respectively x and y, and hence we get 2 into g1 minus g2x plus 2 into f1 minus f2 y plus c1 minus c2 is equal to 0. And from this equation it is clear that it's a linear equation in x and y, so therefore it represents a straight line, which is called as the radical axis for that particular pair of circles. Now let us see some properties of this radical axis. We'll just go through the important properties related with it. Alright, the first property states that the radical axis is perpendicular to the line joining centers of the two circles. So if we have two circles as shown here in the figure on the right, let us consider the two centers as say C1 and C2, and let us consider a line segment joining the two. Okay, so this particular radical axis, we see that it is perpendicular to the segment joining C1 and C2. So that's the important property of the radical axis. The second property states that the radical axis bisects the common tangents of the two circles. So here by the common tangent we have seen earlier that there can be direct or transverse common tangents. So here the blue colored segment is a common tangent, and by the very definition, if you consider the point P on the radical axis which intersects the common tangent, by the definition of radical axis the two parts of that particular tangent segment must be same. So hence radical axis bisects the common tangent, and this is true in case of the transverse common tangent also. So that means even if you consider the transverse common tangent, okay, in that case also the radical axis will bisect it. Third property states that if two circles cut a third circle orthogonally, then radical axis of the two circles passes through the center of the third circle. Now we have seen earlier that the orthogonal intersection means the two circles are cutting each other at right angles. So similarly, we have the other pair of the circles also cutting each other orthogonally. So in that case, whatever is the radical axis of the first two circles, that will pass through the center of the third circle. Now it can be stated in different words also, that is, the locus of the third circle which is orthogonally intersected by the two circles, that forms the radical axis. So that's just the other way of stating this third property. Now there is one more property, so let us see that. That is with respect to the position of a radical axis in case of either the touching circles or the intersecting circles. So if you consider the first possibility, when the two circles are touching each other externally, the radical axis is nothing but their transverse common tangent. In case of internally touching circles also, the radical axis is nothing but their single tangent, which is the direct common tangent. And in case of the intersecting circles, that's the third last figure, the radical axis is nothing but their common chord, that is the chord that passes through the 2 points of intersection. Now let's go ahead and see another concept called as the radical center for a system of 3 circles. Now here let's consider 3 circles with their equations given by S1 equal to 0, S2 equal to 0 and S3 equal to 0. Now if you take the pair of two circles, first two circles, that is S1 and S2, and if we find their radical axis, okay, similarly let us take the pair of S2 and S3 and consider their radical axis, and same for the remaining third pair. Then we will see that those 3 radical axes meet at the single point, and that is called as the radical center of the system of 3 circles. Right? So if you take pairwise radical axis, the 3 axes intersect at the radical center, and the coordinates of this radical center can be found by solving the equations S1 equal to S2 equal to S3 equal to 0, simply because for getting the first radical axis equation we will be equating S1 equal to S2. For getting the third, we get S2 equal to S3, and finally we get S1 equal to S3. So therefore, solving all of them together, we get the coordinates of the radical center.